The drunk brain amazes me and just the lies that it speaks. And sometimes we actually find logic in it and we start to convince ourselves. And sometimes when you take a step back and you actually say it out loud, acknowledge it, it sounds ridiculous because it is. For example, if you've been on a sober journey, you're racking up some days, you're feeling good, that drunk brain likes to come in and tell you, well, you've been doing good. You deserve a reward. And somehow we find logic in our reward being alcohol. So if you say that out loud, I've been trying to abstain from alcohol, the substance of alcohol. So since I've been able to do that, I'm going to then reward myself with alcohol. There is zero logic in that. And we will literally just sit there and justify it and convince ourselves that it makes sense. Or the ability we have to disassociate the bad from the good or the fun. If you have a rough weekend where you're overserved, you drink way too much alcohol, you do something stupid, you get sick, you have a bunch of anxiety, regret, guilt, shame. For some reason, we have the ability to forget about all that negative and just hone in on that little hour of fun that we had when we were actually actively drinking. And then we will take it a step further and just romanticize that first sip, that first glass, and we'll just play it up in our mind like theatrically, like it's just the greatest thing ever. But yet, if you compare that little momentary fun compared to the cost, what you pay for it the next day, that is so much greater, but yet we totally disassociate from the negative. And if you think about that, that's almost an amazing ability to be able to do that, even though it's absolute trash and it's a big lie. But the fact that we're able to do that, that's somewhat remarkable. Or, and this was the big one for me, the ability I had to convince myself that this time when I drank, somehow it was going to be different. When I had a 10-year long track record of where it had never been different. But yet I could convince myself that this time I'm going to be able to control it. I'm only going to have this many drinks. I'm going to go to bed by this time and just all this list, and I'm going to accomplish all this stuff the next day. And the downright creepy part about it is I actually believed in the moment when I was justifying it that it actually was going to be different when it never was. And I think how you win in that, the whole drunk brain versus just logic, truth, is by being aware of it. When you start having those thoughts and you start entertaining things, is just flipping it and acknowledging the truth. And the truth comes from your track record. But it only works if you are honest with yourself.